We got spotty connection here, but we're driving down.
The Appalachian part of Maryland. It's like a very thin strip where 2 miles to the left you got Pennsylvania, 2 miles to the right you got Virginia.
Very good. And we got plenty of unnamed diet beverage for the road. We just had a lovely lunch at the Cracker Barrel, a fine restaurant that caters to white people, crackers. It serves crackers at the Cracker Barrel, you know, and both Liam and I are crackers, so they let us in the door, and we're good to go. But make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the notifications bell. We're driving down the highway, and yeah, we just thought we'd do a stream. We just had an amazing workshop in Missouri for the Center for Political Innovation. I'll tell you more about that later. But the big news that happened today, first big news item, Tara Reade, the woman who was sexually assaulted by Joe Biden, someone tried to steal her horse, right? She has had to flee the country for the, she had to flee the United States. She's now living in Russia. It wasn't exactly clear, she was facing some criminal charges, an Interpol red notice, etc. So she's become a permanent resident of Russia. Now that she's in Russia, apparently someone who is a pro-Biden supporter tried to go to the place where her horse in the United States is being held and tried to take it, tried to steal her horse. That is the new item. And I'm thinking of The Godfather. I mean, can we just call the Democratic Party the mafia at this point, right? I mean, isn't that the opening of The Godfather? Someone kills somebody's horse? I mean, it's leave her horse alone. You already drove her out of the country, for Christ's sakes. Horrifying. They would go after Tara Reade's horse.
They go after Tara Reade, they go after 11-year-olds.
Yeah, and that's the next item. So, as of this morning, Olivia Natasha, an 11-year-old girl who lives in North Korea, she had a YouTube channel that she started a few months back, and I heard about it from CNN.com. CNN.com ran this article. Oh my God, don't believe what you see on this YouTube channel. These North Korean vloggers who are blogging about their lives. It's propaganda. Bum, bum, bum. And I heard about it, and I thought, oh, that's really cool. So I went and subscribed to Olivia Natasha's YouTube channel. She's really cool, right? 11-year-old girl. She has videos about going fishing with her grandpa. She has videos about going to the amusement park. She has videos about the Children's Day celebrations where they honor the children of People's Korea. No politics. She's not talking about communism. She doesn't even talk about Kim Jong-un. She talks about how she loves Harry Potter. That's one of her streams. She loves Harry Potter, right? But anyway, as of today, they took her YouTube channel down off YouTube. This is complete bullshit. This is complete bullshit. Why can an 11-year-old girl from North Korea not have a YouTube channel talking about eating popsicles and going fishing with her grandpa and I mean, why can't she do that? It's complete bullshit. And the reason that they gave, I just love this. I love this. This is just classic. This is what they gave as the reason. I read this on Yahoo News. You cannot make this up. The reason that they banned 11-year-old Olivia Natasha's YouTube channel about her life in People's Korea in the DPRK, the reason that they gave for banning it is because, check this, she has a positive bias about her country. A positive bias about her own country. Imagine that, she didn't make a YouTube channel going, North Korea sucks, I hate this place. I mean, she made a channel that showed life in North Korea as not being utter hell on earth. She's not named Yeonmi Park, right? She doesn't, all the Vice documentaries demonizing North Korea, because she humanized life in North Korea, showed that North Koreans are people too. They go hunting and fishing, and they go to the water park, and they eat popsicles. Because of that, they have banned her YouTube channel. You want to talk about censorship? They're basically announcing the only portrayal of North Korea that is allowed in American media is portrayal that describes North Korea as an extremely off place, and that is unbelievable. What they're basically saying is that they want Americans to hate North Koreans, and to hate them so much they would bomb North Korea and kill people. And they don't want us to develop any human empathy. They're afraid that someone might see this little girl and be like, wow, North Korea, there are real people there with real teddy bears and real Harry Potter books, and maybe we shouldn't bomb them and kill them, and maybe we shouldn't, block them out of the world economy and preventing them from trading on the international markets. Maybe they're people too. They're so scared of humanizing the people of North Korea. And they're so scared of Americans having any sympathy with people living in North Korea that they banned her YouTube channel. That is absolutely criminal. It's absolutely criminal. And Olivia, Natasha, shout out to you. You're a brave girl. You follow me on Twitter, which is awesome. Didn't even realize till today that you were following me. I think what they did to your YouTube channel is bullshit. If you set up on Rumble, you set up on another social media account, I will definitely share your videos. And you're welcome to come on my YouTube channel anytime. Olivia, and that goes for any other North Koreans too, right? And I could not believe this. I'm gonna wipe off there, this, kind of make it less, yeah, there we go. I could not believe when they banned her YouTube channel. It'd be one thing to ban like the official North Korean state channel, which is also bullshit. Why can't any other country, why can't they have a YouTube channel just like any other country? This is bullshit. So, yeah.
But Caleb,
go ahead.
It's funny the timing of this, that they're doing this right as we've seen this kind of opening where Trump has been more pro-North Korea, and you've been seeing more of the conservative right start to actually say positive things about North Korea, and the work that we've been doing in promoting a better view of North Korea and a more realistic view of North Korea. And just right as that happens, they go completely overboard in this direction. I mean, it's almost like they're directly listening into our conversations, and they're directly trying to shut down the growing cross-party movement to support North Korea and to be a real anti-imperialist.
Yeah. Yeah, and I noticed that at the same time that they banned the North Korean vloggers, they're calling the video vloggers from North Korea, they also, in South Korea, blocked all North Korea linked accounts, not just including accounts from North Korea, but including the Korean Friendship Association of the United States, the Korean Friendship Association of the UK, any pro-DPRK accounts are now blocked in South Korea, which is just completely ridiculous. They're doing this at a time that, again, public opinion in the United States is against another war, overwhelmingly. Donald Trump has said he will negotiate. He's been making a big deal out of he will negotiate with Kim Jong-un. And the Biden administration has been amping up anti-North Korea hostility. They're doing the military war exercises. They're rehearsing the all-out destruction of North Korea with these war games that they do every year. North Korea then to demonstrate that if you attack us, we could retaliate. North Korea, shot a missile into the ocean, God forbid, and then on top of that, North Korea, then they had an anti-war rally, an anti-imperialist rally in North Korea. 120,000 people gathered for a big rally to denounce the Korean War and the crimes of U.S. imperialism during the Korean War. So now, to retaliate against all of this, to retaliate against the fact that the world is moving towards peace, the Korean people want peace, both in North and South Korea. The American people want peace. Donald Trump wants to negotiate and wants to continue the negotiations. He wants peace. To counter that, they've now decided that they're going to take down this girl's YouTube channel. I think that's completely bullshit and completely unbelievable. And I'm outraged about it. I'm also outraged that the Democratic Party mafia is threatening Tara Reade's horse, trying to steal her horse. What the hell? What are you going to do with her horse? Right? That's so demented. I can only think that if they had actually gotten Tara Reade's horse, they would have cut its head off and tortured it or something. You know what I mean? It would have been some kind of mafia, going after people's horses. Are you serious?
It's not like a horse is an easy thing to steal.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of a hard thing to steal. That's a good point. Didn't they used to hang horse thieves back in the day?
Yeah, that was
the cowboy movies. Yeah, if you're a horse thief.
Things.
Yeah. So there you go. But yeah, so the other thing I wanted to mention, we just had a great workshop in Missouri for the Center for Political Innovation.
Great is an understatement.
Oh, go on.
We just had this great big retreat in Missouri, beautiful. I don't think backwards is the most friendly word, but we were way out in rural Missouri, and it was just a great time. We set up at the lodge, over 25 people came, and we had 7 or 8 different lectures / classes that were similar to the Saxton lectures that you had done, a year ago? A year ago in Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. There's a great response. We got a lot of people who were telling us just how much they were moved by being there, and that there's an actual anti-imperial voice in Caleb Maupin in the CPI that is emerging and growing and rising, and this coalition of libertarians, the LaRouche people, CPI, all of these different organizations are. It's just beautiful to see this movement grow, and all the getting closer together at this retreat and actually meeting each other is just so awesome.
Yeah, one of the guests who came, he actually joined. He filled out the membership and joined. A young guy named Aiden. Shout out to you, Aiden, our newest member. If you're watching right now,
Shouts out Aiden.
Great classes. Liam gave a great class. Shout out to Tyler. He gave a great class. If you're watching, Tyler, great class. Simon Miller. Shout out to you if you're watching. Great class you did. Elizabeth Young, president of CPI, amazing class. Tim Timoshenko, he gave a great class. Gavin. Shout out to Gavin. Another great class from Gavin. And we have the video of it. Like, I've already got it, like right now. So it's in the hard drive that I've got in my bag down there. So I'm going to be posting it later. As soon as I can, I'll just start posting the classes on the CPI YouTube channel. It was really, really great. We did a faith and socialism workshop about Christianity. It was very strong. And then we had a lot of long workshops we had long discussions about how to build CPI, about our strategy moving forward. That was pretty cool as well. It was really, really great. So you're going to enjoy the videos that come out from our workshop, our weekend workshop that we did in Missouri. And so that'll be up pretty soon. And now we are gearing up for, on July 10th, there will be an event in New York City. The name of the event is going to be, it's going to be called like American Injustice. Money and American Injustice, how the legal system targets the poor. We have a lawyer guest, and it looks like maybe 2 lawyer guests are going to be there to speak about the legal system, how it targets the poor. And on top of that, we're going to have some other guests. We're going to have the great Jose Vega, notorious for his disruptions and protesting elected officials and others. That's July 10th, Monday, July 10th. Nick Brana of the People's Party, he is going to be there. That is going to be awesome. Nick Brana is our good friend, and he's coming up to New York. He'll be doing that event. And then on top of that, in addition to that, we're going to have Chris Holali, who is he's run for Congress many times in Vermont, and he's currently a law student, and he'll be representing the American Student Union. He's in the Party of Communist USA, but he'll be there representing the ASU, the American Student Union. He'll be speaking. In addition to that, we're going to have an anti-war protest beforehand in the afternoon. The event's going to start at 7 o'clock. It'll be in Manhattan. Announcement coming shortly. But beforehand, we're going to have a rally, Peace with Russia, Peace with China. We're going to have a protest that afternoon before the rally, or before the event, the conference actually starts. So July 10th in New York City is fixing to be quite a day. It's going to be pretty cool. So if you can make it to the city for the July 10th event, that'll be great. It's going to be really, really cool. Everyone who comes will get a free copy of my book, because we got plenty of them. We're about to go get them.
And it's so much more fun to come to these IRL things. I mean, it's one thing to see Caleb, but like I'm on this road trip with them. You just can't beat actually meeting together with people who share the same political vision as you and who want to do what is necessary to avoid World War III. So, I mean, if you're listening, you're watching, I really highly recommend you come. It really makes life a lot better to be able to work together with people.
Beatbox, rap, and you played a song on your guitar. Some other people played songs on their guitars. We'll probably post some videos of that. There was one member of CPI, shout out to you, Sage. He solved Rubik's Cubes. That was his thing. He was solving Rubik's Cubes, and that was pretty neat.
Shouts out to shit Sage.
Yeah. And it was a lot of fun. The talent show. We always do one of those at our CPI retreats. Always a lot of fun. We had a musician, a local pacifist musician, who came by, and he performed songs, let kind of the singing music really add something special to events like this. So that was pretty cool as well. So yeah, I mean, it was a great weekend. Mission accomplished. Oh, someone gave us a super chat. Jacob H says, "Drive safe, guys. The workshop was, Jacob. This is Jacob from Louisiana who was there. Yeah. Safe, guys. Thanks for the invite again. Yeah. Well, shout out to you, Jacob. You were great. Jacob played his guitar. He was awesome. It was really great to have him there. Jacob was great. We talked a lot about Huey Long. We talked a lot about Gaddafi. Jacob's a great guy. He was there. That was
Every Man a King.
Every Man a King.
That was one of the songs that was played at. Oh, it was Jacob who played that song,
he did.
right?
Yeah.
That is a great song.
Or you can be a million. It's the Huey Long campaign song from Louisiana.
I think that's what got you singing the loudest too. You know, some of the songs you were just like, oh, what's going on?
Well, it was neat because we had 2 guests from Louisiana who both loved Huey Long. That was really neat. One was the mother of somebody who just kind of came along with their son, you know, but she was from Louisiana, and she didn't agree with us about Iran a lot. She had strong disagreements about what we had to say about Iran. When it came to Huey Long, she loved Huey Long.
Really?
Yeah.
She said that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was really neat. She disagreed with me about Iran, and that we love that. You know, you can come to our events and disagree with us. We don't have a ban on people disagreeing with us at our events. But she agreed with us a lot when it came to Huey Long. She was from Louisiana, and people in Louisiana, they know their grandparents told them.
Czar.
Right, every man a czar. Yeah. It's funny, the word czar actually comes from Caesar. Did you know?
I did.
Yeah. And that's the Russian word for king. It's czar, which comes from Caesar, like the Roman Empire. But Huey Long, his slogan was "Every man a king," which means, it kind of alludes to poverty is not socialism. To be rich is glorious, right? It's not every man is poor, but it's equal. You know.
Yeah.
You know, and that's really important. You know.
And that's what I gave my speech about.
Yeah, you did a great job, by the way. Great workshop by Liam. We'll be posting it. Everyone was blown away. Liam's words had everyone on the edge of their seat. Great explanation of Deng Xiaoping theory and what went wrong in the USSR. And it was really, really tremendous. Liam's presentation. Great stuff. It was a great weekend workshop. And now we're headed back to New York City, and we're going to start getting ready for the July 10th event, which is going to be great. Peter Coffin is going to be in town. He'll be at that event, and he's making like a documentary about the themes of the event, about the legal system. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. So, mark your calendar. Oh, we got another super chat here. Another drive safe. Oh, no, it's the same one. It just kind of came up. This is weird. We're driving down the road. Wi-Fi is spotty, and, it's okay. We're just going to keep going, but it was great. It was really a great weekend, and I'm feeling refreshed. I got some rest, People always stay up late talking politics at these events. We have good
Oh, my
food.
God, yeah. Simon, Aiden, and Sage, we must have stayed up until 5:30 a.m. Just chatting, talking politics, talking anti-imperialism. Just such a great event to be. I don't always get to see Simon, and so it's so great to be able to have that connection.
Yeah, no, it really is, and this kind of in real life connections that we build are very important. And what we're doing at CPI is very important. We got to see the folks from Chicago who are organizing. Got to meet Killian. Shout out to you, Killian. Killian was there. He's awesome. Got to see Kieran. From New Jersey, longtime friend of the Center for Political Innovation, a member actually of the CPI. He gave great remarks, insights during the workshops and stuff. It was really, really great. It was really, really a great event. Got to see Tom in Detroit, Linda from Detroit. Shout out to both of you. Got to see. A lot of people. I'm gonna forget somebody if I start naming everyone who was there, but it was really a great event. It was really, really awesome. So, yeah.
One thing that was cool too is, of course, our delicious adventure to Bob Evans.
Oh yeah, talk about that. We went to Bob Evans at one point on our way back with some of the people that had been there, and so that inspired Liam to have a new ideological breakthrough. Bob Evans communism.
This is a breakthrough. This is an ideological breakthrough for the communist movement. I had noticed when we went to Bob Evans, right? And me and Caleb, we had just been reading through some hateful replies on something from some of these online leftists who they just love to complain about everything.
Yep.
Never have they ever done anything constructive. So we're sitting at this Bob Evans, and I notice a sign. Kids eat free on Tuesdays after 4 p.m. Now you can say, that's just marketing, they get a lot of adults to come and order food then, and they bring their kids. But I went and I asked the waitress, how many people usually come on that day? And she said the whole community. The whole community comes in Almost everyone in town who has their kids, they come in, they bring their kids, and they get free food.
Yeah.
Bob Evans is doing more work for their community than any of these shit-lib leftists in New York City. The
Yep.
PSL, they might once in a while have some sort of like taco stand or something that they like dish out a couple of tacos to a few
There you
rural people who a lot of these leftists would say that they're awful because, oh look, that guy's wearing a MAGA hat, or this guy is wearing a Blue Lives Matter hoodie or something like that. But I don't know, it's just so disgusting how they hate on these rural people who vote Trump, and they hate them because they vote Trump. But these are workers, these are people, these are fellow Americans, these are
Yep.
fellow human beings.
Yep.
And I just wish there was more of a realization of that in our country.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and Bob Evans, I mean, it's free food for kids, And that's a way to support families, struggling families. Yeah, maybe it's a marketing gimmick, but it ends up with a lot of kids eating a meal, and that's a service to families, and so many, right now they're trying to keep people from having children, right? But Bob Evans is saying if you have kids, we'll feed them for free on Tuesday after 4 o'clock. So there you go, that's one of the things Trump, Bob Evans communism right here, right? That's one of the things that Trump, he wanted to start incentivizing people to have children, which I thought was pretty neat. That was part of his Quantum Leap speech. And he also wanted to build new cities in America. Awesome. And have different proposals for what these new cities might look like. So I thought that was awesome. And that Donald Trump is getting better because Donald Trump is at odds with his own class, right? He's waging war against his own class. The ruling class of the United States has gone after Donald Trump at this point. So that's forcing Donald Trump to sound better and better and better. So we're gonna see how crazy shit gets in 2024. It's gonna get wild. At this point, it's gonna get wild. I keep seeing all these articles accusing RFK of being a right winger, and it's there's room for criticism of RFK. Don't agree with him about Israel. Don't agree with him about some of the stuff he said about China, but a right winger, he is not. RFK, he's a leftist if there ever was one. And that shows you, it's you're with them or against them. That's how their attitude is. You are either with the woke synthetic left or you against them. Well, I'm against them, as they say. It's really sad. It's kind of like what they did to the hard right or the paleo conservatives during the Bush years. They called them liberals, right? Pat Buchanan, people like that were opposed to the Iraq War. The conservative camp, National Review magazine and other things just kind of disowned all of them because their right-wing views were not supporting the establishment. Conservatives that were true to their principles didn't support the invasion of Iraq, didn't support the Patriot Act. They also got, the boot from the Republican Party during the Bush years. But now the wokes, they're the new voice of the neoconservative movement, of the anti-populist, globalist, whatever you want to call it, pro-imperialist current. They're the new voice of it. Because of that, now they're doing the same kind of thing. You're either with them or against them. Well, we're against them. We're for the working class.
There you go.
So, yeah. There you go.
Someone in the chat, they said Costco communism. I think it's and all of the planning that they have to do to run their business, and so many of these leftists who are just against business, as if in communist countries, as if in anti-imperialist countries they don't have business.
Right.
It's like Costco, they get good deals for the people. People could go to Costco, they could get a whole bunch of food for an inexpensive price. That's where a lot of people with bigger families, they go to Costco.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. And I believe Costco is connected to China in some way, isn't it?
Well, they like to do deals with them, I think. And also, one of the things that Costco is well known for is paying its workers a decent, at least a much higher wage than most competing businesses do.
I see.
People will fight for their job at Costco. They're like, I don't want to lose my job at Costco.
There you go. Yeah, I know the Greek Communist Party, to justify their anti-China bullshit, they have invoked Costco strikes or something like that, and it's really... Yeah, there was a strike at the Greek Costco or something, and they were claiming China was on the wrong side of the strike, and that's the basis, it's maybe that... And if that's true, right, if China did indeed act inappropriately or take the wrong side in a strike at Costco, that's bad, but that doesn't make China not socialist, you know? It's kind of nitpicky things, right? You know, someone can be socialist and do something bad. Someone can be socialist and take the wrong position. You know, I don't know even what happened, honestly. I just hear the Greek communists talk about it. And it's like, this happened like at least 10 years ago. And you read it in their tirades against CPI, against the World Anti-Imperialist Platform, against Jyoti Brar. They're like, oh, there was this strike at Costco. It's like, that's your argument about why China is imperialist, is because of something that happened 10 years ago about one particular country on one particular strike. That doesn't make it imperialist, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and that's ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. And that's their argument about why China's not socialist. And they keep bringing it up when I read these tirades against the World Anti-Imperialist Platform, against the PCUSA, against Jyoti Brar, against the Center for Political Innovation. They invoke Costco. And I'm just like, seriously.
Well, someone just mentioned in the chat that 15, 20 years ago, or 10 years ago or something like that, Costco was paying between like $15 and $20 back then. And someone made also the great point of the Costco hot dog, the famous Costco hot dog, $1.50, and it hasn't been raised even throughout all of this inflation. They want people to have access to an inexpensive, good product, a delicious hot dog. They got some relish, they got some ketchup, they got mustard, all for free for you to, you know, when you go to Popeyes and you ask for a sauce, they charge you extra. Costco, they don't charge you extra for any sauce. You get a drink. You can't even get a drink for $1.50 anymore.
That's true.
Costco gives you a whole hot dog and a $1.50. It's the American dream right there.
Absolutely. Yeah, so, you know, we're just heading down the road here, you know, getting ready for our event July 10th. So, you know, we're going to reach out to our allies, the Libertarian Party, the LaRouche Movement, the Schiller Institute, the People's Party, Nick Brana, others. We're going to have like an anti-war rally in the streets of New York City before the event. Peter Coffin's coming to town. It's gonna be pretty cool. So that was good. You know, I gave a talk about like where the Center for Political Innovation came from, and I invoked Hamlet, and I talked about Shakespeare and stuff. People liked it, so I'm gonna post it. It'll be online soon. And you know, we're just trying to keep an organization together, trying to build something here. You know, we've been up against it a lot. But we just keep marching ahead. And what's weird is, you know, CPI is back. We're organizing. You know, we temporarily, you know, had a shutdown in August, but we're back and organizing. But you'll notice all the bread tube hacks, right? All the phonies, right? They make it sound like we never came back, right? Oh, CPI dissolved, end of conversation. It's like that's like ancient history. That was, you know, we've been back since November, right? And you'll notice they just want to end the conversation. They don't want to acknowledge that we're still around. You know, but we are around and we're doing our things. And we need you to help us, by the way. If you can help share the CPI website, if you can, you know, tweet out our videos and our material, that would be great, because CPI is rising. People are joining all the time. We get new memberships from around the country all the time. We're doing streams, we're doing workshops. We're about to have this big event in New York City. We just finished a big event in Missouri. We're doing shit all the time.
And one thing that I've noticed is CPI actually has more momentum and is doing more now than it was even before all of what happened.
That's actually true. We are doing a way more big events. I mean, we did Rage Against the War Machine, February 19th. We had a huge reception afterwards with Scott Ritter. You know, that was a huge event we did in DC. And then 1 month later, we had yet another event in Washington, D.C., the Summit Against Hypocrisy in March. Then, right after the Summit Against Hypocrisy, I confronted Tsai Ing-wen, the so-called president of Taiwan, which is actually part of China, on the streets of New York.
Blew
up all over social media in China and was huge, right? All over TikTok, everything. Then after that, you know, we then had this workshop in Missouri, and now we're about to do another event in New York City, another big event in this. We got this great building in Manhattan. You'll see the details when they come out. We got guest speakers and friends from around the. So it's like, you know, we're on fire. We're doing way more shit than we did before. We're churning out a lot more material. You know, my new book that I wrote, Kim Iverson did a whole segment with me, a whole half-hour show just about my book. You can go watch it now. My book, Where is America Going? Marxism, MAGA, and the Coming Revolution. Kim Iverson had me on for a whole half hour just to talk about that book because she found the message to be very profound and how American politics is like out of kilter and how we don't know what liberalism is. You know, that was awesome, right? That was really, really great. So, you know, we are doing shit. We are getting shit done. More people are joining our organization. We have great workshops where we're bonding. We're getting to know fire. We're marching ahead. And it's great. On from hating us to just pretending we don't exist. They want to kind of not acknowledge we're still here because what we're doing is so awesome. And it's kind of sad. They're just so threatened by us. And they thought they could destroy us, but they couldn't. We're just marching ahead and we're doing what we're doing. And, you know, the haters are gone. You know, we had a good purge. That's how I would put it. We had a good purge of people that were unproductive and unhelpful. And now the people we've got are awesome. Elizabeth Young is so dedicated to everything CPI. She gave a great class, too, on art. She talked about art and culture. It was awesome. It was really, really awesome. About CIA meddling and Chaos Canyon. And it was good stuff. It was really good. It was kind of like the class I gave on the synthetic left, but she took it to a whole nother level, talking about how the CIA has manipulated art and culture and all kinds of stuff. It was really awesome. It was really, really tremendous. It was great, just absolutely great. And yeah, I mean, we're heading down the highway, and
I think that they're ignoring CPI now because if people in a broad way, like if their communities saw, like if Fosh's community saw that not only has the SIP not sank, but it's rising higher than ever, and now it has a new engine, a new, like, you went from coal to gas.
Yeah.
Like, they can't cover you right now, because if they did, it would just be really embarrassing for them.
Yeah.
Because more and more they're forced to take a imperialist line.
Yeah.
Every single day, it's becoming more and more obvious that any kind of communist sentiment or anti-imperialist sentiment that they pretend to have, they can't keep that grift going while being obvious, objective imperialists.
Yeah.
But at the same time, because of that, you and all the anti-imperialist work that you and the CPI are doing is becoming more and more apparent that, yeah, you're not a white supremacist.
Yeah.
In fact, it's that they label you the white supremacist, but yet, look at the people who support you. All the people who support you are not white.
Yeah, no, we're doing more for Uhuru and the Uhuru movement that's facing FBI repression now than any other group. I mean, they've acknowledged that. They're like blown away by how much we have done to support them. Noah, shout out to you if you're watching. Noah, great member of the CPI out in Boston. He has been organizing with them. John McCarthy is just relentless doing stuff to support the Uhuru movement.
Shouts out to John McCarthy. John
McCarthy is an awesome comrade. Awesome comrade who does great stuff. He read a beautiful poem about older revolutionaries who never surrender, and he was great. You know, you just don't know until you've been to one of these events, until you've been to one of our CPI workshops. You don't know how great our group of people really is. We have a really good folks. Shout out to Nate, by the way, new guy from Chicago that we met, really good guy. And I mean, we're doing good stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's wild, this election coming up, right? So Donald Trump is like under like full-scale attack by the establishment. So he's getting better. He's amping up his non-interventionism, his populism, his like city builder stuff, right? So then we got RFK, who is critical of all these lockdowns and all that stuff, which is really a bold stand to take, which polls show that many Democrats really like him, which is surprising because the Democrats have made themselves the party of cancel culture and you're not allowed to think for yourself or question mainstream media. He gave some great comments about U.S. foreign policy, just talking about how the USA has been escalating tension around the world, how Russia and China should be our friend, not our enemy. You got Marianne Williamson, who, I mean, she's a little weird, I will say, but at least she's running against Joe Biden, right?
There you go.
You know, I mean, that's good. And I think she's for Medicare for all, if I'm mistaken.
Well, she's pondering her orb and seeing the future of the Democratic Party and pulling the strings secretly behind it.
Yeah.
From what I've heard.
Right. Got Marianne Williamson. Now, Cornel West is running for president. You know, he's on the Green Party ticket. I think it was a mistake of him to move away from the People's Party, you know. But he's still running for president, and that's good. You know, and Craig Pasta from Convo Couch, he just did a great, he did a really hard-hitting interview with Cornel West, pushed him on the Ukraine stuff, pushed him on you should go watch Craig Pasta's interview with Cornel West. It was really, really powerful, really, really good stuff. So that was great. And so, we just got to pay attention to it. My attitude, CPI, Center for Political Innovation, we do not endorse any political candidate. None, right? Instead, we are building an anti-imperialist network, and we're educating people about anti-imperialism, about socialism, etc. And that's what we're doing. So, we want to be able to talk to people in all of these campaigns. And we want to build a network. We want to build a ship for the coming storm. That's what we're doing. And it's happening. We're doing it. So that's what we're doing. But, there are some CPI people who like RFK a lot. There's other CPI that, and yeah, we're getting stuff done. So you were telling me about how there's somebody in the Trump camp who's now talking about North Korea.
Yes, Based Brant on Twitter, and he's one of these young guys who is like, I think he was probably involved in TPUSA to a certain level, maybe led a high school chapter or something like that. But he has, there's like a circuit of young Republicans who maybe work on campaigns, might work on actual congressional staff, and they're just kind of like, they make maybe TikToks or something like that. But this is one of those young men in that milieu. And he's even been targeting some of the younger MAGA people who are young like him. And he's been saying, like, you guys aren't MAGA enough, you aren't Republican enough. But yet, this young man is making big Twitter threads about why North Korea is actually based.
Wow.
And why North Korea, even though they're communist, is not so bad. And this got thousands and thousands of likes. It blew up. I think it got at least 500K impressions.
That's amazing.
And this is crazy. You're seeing a young Republican making posts about how North Korea is good, communism isn't as bad as the Democrats say it is, or like, all this kind of shit. I've never seen anything like this before. So, look on Twitter, Based Brant. That's an interesting kid. He's worth a follow. I don't agree with everything he says, but I'm gonna try and talk to that kid and, hopefully get to know him better. He reminds me a lot of me when I was younger. So that's an exciting opportunity.
Absolutely. Oh, also, before I forget, Panos sent us a super chat. So thank you, Panos. He said he missed us. And now Maxwell Pfeffer says Caleb Space LaRouche 2024.
There we go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's do that shit.
How old do you have to be to be VP? Do you
I don't know.
35?
I think so. I think you have to be like old enough that you could be president, but
Okay.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, but then there's a lot of people who run. I mean, who can't do it.
There you go.
So I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, no, I mean, and who knows? I don't have any political aspirations at this time, but maybe in the future, Same for Liam, right? Right?
Well, I was considering running against Mike Garcia, who's from my hometown, and he's a Republican, and he voted against Syria bill, which would have pulled the troops out of Syria and would have stopped giving, support against Assad.
Yeah.
And, but, I'm not living there right now, and I'm still trying to figure out my economic situation and everything, so it's not, but I would love to run for Congress someday soon.
Yeah.
And I saw someone just posted, America has turned against itself, or a comment like that. What's the name? You probably know of this guy, the Chinese author. He wrote a book literally titled America Against America.
Huh.
And he went into in the 80s and the 90s, he was a young man, and he's considered like the ideological, he's like considered the Dugin of Xi Jinping.
Oh, wow.
Like, Dugin is considered Putin's primary, like, philosopher, although no one knows how true that is.
Yeah.
This guy, I think his name is like Billy Huang or something like that. That could be completely wrong.
Right.
But he's written a book called America versus America, where he went to America and at first he thought, it's going to be so rich and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But what he saw was a lot of what we He saw the drug addiction. He saw the developing, degeneration of the culture. He saw the gross inequality, the homelessness, drug addiction. And he wrote about how America is starting to decay itself from the inside out.
Absolutely.
And it's interesting to see that from a Chinese perspective.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, also worth noting is that I think, if I'm not mistaken, now I forget what I was going to say. It just popped right out of my head,
If I'm not mistaken.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm distracted. We got a call coming in. We couldn't answer it. But yeah, one thing I was thinking about, right, is we published a lot of books as CPI. We published the Green Book by Gaddafi, and that really made an impression. That is the top-selling edition of the Green Book on Amazon, and it is also, at the same time, it is, widely read. There's been over 2,000 copies sold, and, we're thinking about doing other revolutionary texts from around the world. I know Liam has some ideas he's working on, and we want to put out more books, right? Because books are very important. And another thing I've been thinking about is, we got another super chat that came in. No, it's the same one. It's weird. It's weird how this works. We're driving down the road here, we're streaming, but right now the economy of the United States is somewhat stable. I mean, living conditions are dropping, the spending power of the American people is constantly going down. But economic conditions are somewhat stable, but we could soon enter a time where that is not the case, and it's time to start preparing. And we had a lot of conversations about that this weekend. It was really important. We also had a lot of conversations. The faith and socialism conversations were really important. Talking about God, talking about what all this means, and and that was really, really important to do, and just how many people go looking. They go looking for communism, expecting to find something different than what they find, right? They want what CPI is doing, and instead they find CPUSA, PSL, they find this woke show that has
Hey,
something
comrade! Hey!
There you go.
You want to go get your hair dyed with me later, comrade?
Yeah.
Oh boy, it's been so amazing! So amazing! We got to protest for Black Lives Matter! I saw that on CNN! Oh my god! It's so cool! It's amazing! Screw Donald Trump! He's a goofball! He's a big goofball! Gee golly! Oh boy! Oh, I never thought I could agree with CNN so loudly! It's so amazing to be a communist revolutionary! You can agree with mainstream media! Oh my god!
Oh my gosh, Rachel Maddow is supporting our protest! Oh, yeah!
Must be so that we're so revolutionary. She just had to. We're forcing the capitalists to agree with us. Oh boy, it's amazing. It is utterly amazing.
But anyway, so someone says, lower your voices, it's offending us. Would you rather I speak like this? All right, we'll keep our voices down low. But there you go. There you go. There you go. Hey, make sure you hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications bell. Reestablishment says, have a safe trip to NYC. Can't wait for the retreat footage. Well, you are in for a treat because it was a really great retreat. Timoshenko taught us to meditate.
Oh, yes.
That was how we ended the talent show that we did on Saturday night. Timoshenko taught the group to meditate. It was very sweet, kind of Zen meditation. That was
It was
very
funny
powerful.
how we were so amped up from all the political stuff, and then we did that meditation, and then everyone was just kind of chill.
Yep.
Just gonna chill from that point on.
Yeah, absolutely. One of our Middle Eastern guests taught us a traditional dance, like a dance that people do at weddings and stuff in the Middle East. That was pretty cool.
What was that called again? Do you remember?
I don't remember what it was called, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. It took a lot of energy out of you, though. I mean, I can see people must be in good shape if they do that dance at every wedding and all that. I mean,
Yeah.
and they say they do it for a really long time. We only did it for maybe like 5-6 minutes or
I
something.
don't even think we did it that long. I think
Yeah.
we did like 2 minutes. I was
2 minutes of the dance. So.
Yes.
Oh, someone else says, drive safe, guys. The workshop was... Oh, no, that's Jacob from earlier. The chat here is a little bit weird because the Wi-Fi is spotty, but it happens. It happens. We're driving down the road. Driving down some
skunks right now.
Oh, yeah?
You smell it?
Smells bad. Wow. There you go. We got our windows up, but what was it? There was that song, like, what was it? Dead Skunk in the Middle of the Road. It was like a country song. You ever hear that? You got your dead skunk
Who's
in the
that
middle
by?
of the road.
Is that by Country Joe and the Fish?
No. It was just a hit country song, kind of, roll up your windows, that ain't no rose. That kind of thing, But there you go. But yeah. Yeah, we've been driving through the hills of West Virginia and Pennsylvania, and now we're in Maryland. We're just trying to get shit done.
It's interesting driving through these parts of the country because you can see like it's crazy how people living in New York City, people living in California where I'm from, they always want to repeat this idea, oh, the earth is so overpopulated.
Mm-hmm.
Where is
so much wealth in America. Human labor, human potential, coal, timber, natural gas, but they have it in our heads, oh no, we all have to be poorer, we all have to be poorer. That's the Huey Long's theme song. Every man a king, or you can be a millionaire. But if there's something belonging to others, there's enough for all people to share. In sunny June or September too, or in the winter time or spring, there'll be peace without end, every neighbor a friend, and every man a king. That's a great song. It's a great theme song. I know there was like one of those like TV miniseries. They recorded their own version of it with like drums in the background for like an episode they did about elections and people going to the polls. And that version I really liked. It was like more of a march. Yeah. Also, the guy who did Toy Story, the music for Toy Story, I can't remember his name. You know what I'm talking about?
The voice, like you've got
a friend in me. What's his name? That guy?
You got a friend.
You got a friend in me. That guy, he did a whole album dedicated to Huey Long. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah.
Is that Louis Armstrong?
No, it's not Louis Armstrong. It's a guy from the 90s, like Randy something. Randy, I think.
Chat will probably tell us.
Yeah, Chad will probably know what it is. The Toy Story guy, right? And he did a whole album dedicated to Huey Long, where he recorded Every Man a King, and he recorded a song about Huey Long, and it's like a whole album. Randy Newman, that's his name. Randy Newman.
Thank you, Chad.
He did a whole album dedicated to Huey Long, right? And there were a lot of songs about Huey Long at the time. I mean, there's this whole Randy Newman album that came out in like the 90s, Huey Long. But after Huey Long was killed, there was a hit country song that was on the radio across America. And the first line, I gotta love it, right? Oh, they shot Long in Louisiana as he walked down the Capitol steps. Yes, they killed Huey Long in Louisiana, where he fought against the capitalists. That's the lyrics of the song, right? I thought it was pretty neat. But yeah. It's great. It's great stuff. But as far as Marxism, we talked about overproduction and the tendency of the falling rate of profits. And, it's interesting because, I knew Fred Goldstein. He was a leader of the Workers' World Party when I was in it. And they have now set up a page for him on the Marxist Internet Archive.
Really?
Yeah. You can go to it. And he has his own page on. You can go read the book by Fred Goldstein, which I think is a pretty good book. His other book, Capitalism is a Dead End, actually says the same thing, but in kind of a long, drawn-out, convoluted way. I didn't like it so much. And you can read like a paper that he based low-wage capitalism on at a Marxist conference in Brazil. You can read that on there. But, Low-Wage Capitalism, the book, is a pretty good book because it starts out explaining overproduction, and explaining why the capitalist economy is doing what it is, about how labor is. Oh, musical con man says, "Have a safe drive," and safe drive to you, and shout out to you if you're driving. Yeah. Fred Goldstein, he the book Low Wage Capitalism, I recommend it. The first bit is about the technology revolution and how it's affecting the economy. The second bit is about the U.S. working class and the living standards and austerity and everything. And the final section of the book is about the labor movement and, like labor struggles that have gone on throughout in the recent years. Like he talks about various strikes that have gone on, and it's quite powerful stuff. So I recommend people go and check it out. Another good book to read if you're interested in this concept is Nelson Peary, who I really like. He wrote this book called The Future is Up to Us, which basically makes the same point that Fred makes about automation and the tendency of the falling rate of profit, overproduction. We didn't invent this. I don't claim to have invented this stuff. This stuff goes all the way back to Marx. If you read the Communist Party during the Great Depression, the way they analyzed the Great Depression, same stuff. And Nelson Peary and Fred Goldstein, Sam Marcy in the 80s, he wrote a book called High Tech, Low Pay. which basically makes this point as well. It was kind of about what was happening in the 80s with automation and people losing their jobs. And so basically my new book, Where is America Going? Marxism, MAGA, and the Coming Revolution, it takes that concept and it kind of analyzes what does it mean in American politics. And I quote Marcy, and I quote Fred Goldstein, and I quote Nelson Peary, and I quote Lynn Marcus, aka Lyndon LaRouche, and I apply it, in my new book. And we didn't invent this stuff, but this is called Marxism, right? Karl Marx, people had in their head that Karl Marx went around saying that capitalism was unfair. No.
It's bad.
It's unfair. Some people have more money than others, and that's unfair. No, all kinds of people have been saying that long before Karl Marx was ever born, right? People were saying that. People were walking around saying, wow, some people have wealth, some people are poor, that's unfair. If all Karl Marx had ever done and said that, there would have been nothing original about it, right?
That's a good point.
Karl Marx's whole point was that capitalism emerged out of feudalism, just as feudalism emerged out of slavery, just as slavery emerged out of hunter-gatherer civilization, and that capitalism has within it these inherent contradictions, and it's created something that has never existed in history, which is poverty created by abundance, poverty created by wealth, which has never been an issue before, ever in human history. In all other societies, people have been poor because there was shortages of some kind. There were food shortages, so people were hungry, there wasn't enough housing, so people were homeless. But capitalism is the only system that's ever existed where people become impoverished because of wealth. And that points to the necessity of organizing the economy centrally and having the banks and the factories and the major industries forced to work in the interest of the people of a country. You have to have the central planning of the means of production, right? And that is what made Marxism unique. And if you read Socialism, Utopian, and Scientific by Friedrich Engels, if you read the Communist Manifesto, if you read your Critique of the Goethe Program, any of Marx's major works, that's his point. That's what made Marxism separate from utopian socialism, the worker cooperative thing. Again, Robert Owen was doing worker cooperatives, and he did New Lanark and New Harmony, Henry St. Simon, people like that. Plenty of people have been talking about, employers versus employees, that's unfair, income inequality, blah, blah, blah. But it was Karl Marx with the brilliance to understand that the built-in contradictions of capitalism, poverty amid plenty, would necessitate the proletariat, the working class, seizing the means of production. That's scientific socialism, that's Marxism. And there's all kinds of people walking around the United States now who don't believe that. PSL doesn't believe that. Bernie Sanders people don't believe that, right? And it's bizarre because that was, Critique of the Goethe Program. Marx spends the whole pamphlet. It's a very short pamphlet. Go read the Critique of the Goethe Program. Karl Marx spends the pamphlet attacking the concept of redistribution of wealth. He says he doesn't believe it. That's not the issue. He says we're not interested in redistributing the fruits of human labor. We're interested in restructuring the nature of human labor. People should be working in a centrally planned economy. So there's rational use of resources, rational planning of the economy. And he says the only way we can have a stateless, classless world, and you made this point amazingly well in your talk, the only way you can have a world where there is no inequality, where there is no government, the only way you can do that is to have vast abundance in society. And the problem with capitalism is that it's preventing us from reaching that vast abundance, right? You can't have a higher stage in poverty. And so we have to have a centrally planned economy so we can reach the level of abundance to break down inequality. The inequality is tied up with scarcity. And that's materialism. It's not a moral question, right? When I was first coming around communist groups, I was around like the RCP and different Maoist kind of communist groups. They made it sound like it was like, we're going to teach people how to be communist. No, communism is rooted in the economic foundations of society. And that the basis of inequality, the basis of social hierarchies is scarcity. And the road to eliminating that is a rationally planned economy can eliminate scarcity. That's a really important point. And, Marx, that's what Marxism is all about. It's about, scientific socialism, understanding the nature of class society. We got the quote right here, right? In the higher phase of communist society, after the enslaving subordination of the individual to the division of labor, and therewith the antithesis between mental and physical labor has vanished, after labor has become not only a means of life, but life's prime want, after the productive forces have increased with the all-around development of the individual and the springs of wealth flow more abundantly, only then can the narrow horizon of bourgeois right be crossed in its entirety and society inscribed in its banners, from each according to his ability to each according to his needs.
Notice how he said only then. Only then. A lot of people are forgetting about that only then part.
Mm-hmm. Only then. You can't will it. You can't force it.
Or you can't just march into the Congress and say, we're declaring it. We're abolishing the state, comrade.
Yeah.
We're abolishing landlords. Didn't you say PSL was?
Yeah, I read PSL. Eventually, I'm going to write something. It's one of my ongoing projects. But PSL, you know, they have this document of what they're going to do, right? And it's like their book on socialist reconstruction. And it's like they're going to have a magic wand. It's like, we will abolish landlordism. We will abolish income inequality. We will, and it's like they're going to have a magic wand. They're going to go bling, bling. Like, what? Abolish landlordism. What does that mean? Like, what about like working people who own like 2 houses? They rent one of them. So what are you going to do? You're just going to abolish it. Does that mean they get to keep the house? What does that mean, right?
That means BlackRock's going to be able to take it over.
I mean, what does that mean, right? And you're going to abolish income inequality. How do you do that? You just give everyone the same amount of money or something? Like, it's just magical thinking. And that's what wokeism is really largely based on. It's like, we're going to abolish this, we're going to abolish that. Bling, 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 with their magic wand or something. It's not a real economic program. That's one thing that I have learned from the Schiller Institute people, is they have all these proposals, right? Like they have, what is it called? Nawapa?
Yeah.
You know, and we started talking, we called it like the River of Life, like this proposal for a big irrigation project for the United States. They come up with like real things you could actually do, real policies that could actually be implemented.
National Alliance of Water and Power. I mean, you look at Arizona, where I was just recently living,
Mm-hmm.
they're having problems with water, you know, and we can build again, like,
Yeah.
we can make America great again, you know, we can actually build something, and none of these, you never hear the PSL come and say, oh, this is what our plan to build, or this is our plan to make housing a right instead of a commodity. Instead, they just say, we're just going to declare it.
There's these bad things we don't like. There's racism, there's income inequality, and we're just going to magically make them go away. It's just this very naive, and it's not well thought out, right? It's and that if you want to actually win over working people, if you actually want to win over working people, you need to put forward a program of real policies that can really be implemented. And the policy can't be, oh, we have to have a violent communist revolution, because that's not going to happen. You have to have real policies to implement.
Well, we need to go to the working class and just the working masses of the population and say, this is how we're going to make America great again. We're going to build it. And if there's one critique I have of Trump, it's that although he says these things, he hasn't really had a very official plan and hasn't gone hardcore and moving in that direction. But that's our responsibility, is we're going to say, well, the working people of this country, they want the country to be great again. Of course they do. They live in it. They share a destiny with it.
Bingo.
So we're actually going to build, and this is the proposals that we have and the ideas that we could build, and we listen to the people. What are their needs? What is the problems that are actually facing the community? Where we are going to take the responsibility of making sure that there are plans that will address the needs of the people.
From the masses to the masses. The masses are the water, and the revolutionaries are the fish. That is the nature of what it means to be a socialist, right? That is what it means. It is a mass line. It is about knowing the soul of the people and giving voice to the feelings that people already have, right? Not giving them a moral code that they have to live by, but becoming a vehicle to address the feelings and the grievances and the injustices and the contradictions they already have. So, all right, well, listen, I'm gonna do an interview pretty soon. So it looks like we're gonna have to cut this stream off for now. We might be back on later. It depends, you know. We might stream a little bit later. We'll see. We still got a lot of driving to do today. But hit the like button before I go. Hit the subscribe button before I go. Hit the notifications bell. And
also subscribe to me.
Subscribe to him. Quantum Leap, right?
Quantum Leap with Liam Murphy on YouTube. If you could quickly subscribe, that'd be great. I've been making YouTube shorts, and I'll be doing more with Caleb, more streaming of my own and stuff. So
absolutely,
appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, and make sure you subscribe, because I just checked Liam's channel. I've been subscribed to him for years, and it was like unsubscribe today, so I had to hit the subscribe button. Did I tell you that?
Really?
Yeah, it was weird. I had to resubscribe to your channel today. I'm like, this is weird. Like, this doesn't make any sense. You know, I've been subscribed for a long time. So, yeah, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe now. You say stay subscribed. Hit the notifications bell. Go subscribe to Liam's channel, because the YouTube algorithms, they admit they unsubscribe people, you know, against their will. They automatically do it. So make sure you don't get targeted in that way. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications bell. We might be back on later, maybe this evening, something like that. So talk to you all soon. Good night. Good afternoon.